Manjula Pooja Shroff. I'm the chairperson of Calorx, which does K-12 and higher education in a university system.
So how are you placed in the Indian education system?
We have the entire vertical, right from preschool to university, what we call KG to PG. So we are about 15 years old in education and mostly in the state of Gujarat. We run preschools through a franchisee network. We own and do a JV mechanism for K-12 schools, largely spread over Gujarat, and we've signed 1 or 2 MOUs in Maharashtra. We also have in our, group Delhi Public Schools in Ahmedabad, 2 of them. And about 2-3 years ago, we started one of its kind sector-specific university for teachers training.
So how many institutes you have in India?
As of now, around 27.
All are in Gujarat? Or?
Most of them in Gujarat.
Okay. And what are the expansion plans?
Well, expansion is first to step out to the western region because, as you know, there's a huge demand India-wide. So the entire footprint of India is available. But from administrative and quality concerns, it's better to kind of keep it slightly regional before we do the entire national mapping. So we'd be happy to go into neighboring states and then move to India. Not that we are averse to doing it in India. We're also looking at opportunities in the Middle East, for that matter.
According to you, what is the what is the best suitable model, a franchisee one or a company-owned one?
For a K-12, if you're a group that has its focus on quality, running it through a franchisee will be very difficult because in a franchisee you have very loose control, and running a K-12 school is actually rather hands-on. And the children stay with you for 14-15 years. There's a lot you can do if you're completely focused about the growth of children and excellence in academics. So my personal choice would be that we would manage the school directly rather than a franchisee model. In the preschool sector, the franchisee is very, very successful because it's hardly 3 years. If you get the right kind of training, if you have the right kind of output assessments, etc., and monitoring, you could monitor the quality. But in K-12, it gets difficult.
And what are the challenges which you have faced so far during the course of your career?
Well, lots of challenges, right? I mean, sometimes infrastructure, sometimes permissions, sometimes, making the right fee increase, and sometimes, parents not participating in the fee increase. Sometimes you could have, you could have an accident with a child. Sometimes you don't find the right teacher in physics, or you don't find the right teacher in math or English. Sometimes you don't have quality principals. Sometimes you don't have good student enrollments. Lots of problems. But at the end of the day, we have a good team. We have good systems and processes. We have problem-solving people on the team. We are passionate about our jobs. So I guess the gratification overweighs the problems.
What are your views on RTE?
See, earlier today at the session I was talking and I was presenting a graphical representation which shows that the literacy distribution is the worst in the bottom of the pyramid. So in the rural, tribal areas, really a lot of children are not educated. RT is focused on solving that. There are other reports like ACER reports that say that, government schools are closing down. And if that is the case, then private schooling will start to provide all the solutions, including for poor children. So RTE or Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, these are the right solutions to broad-based elementary education, to universalize elementary education. It's a good step for the country. It's a very difficult step for private solution providers such as us.
When we talk about some of the government programs which you've mentioned, and we see a lot of programs like midday meal. We have seen the incident which has just happened where so many children have died just because of the low quality food, or the food was not proper. So what exactly needs to be done to provide if the government has initiated a program and it is not rightly implemented, then what's the use of that kind of program?
I agree. What happened was very unfortunate. It's unfortunate that so many children will harmlessly die out of eating food. I mean, what can be more tragic, right? Uh, my heart really goes out to the parents because they send children to school with hope, with aspirations, with dreams of building the future.
Children would have stayed hungry for 2 days but lived rather than eating the poisonous food.
Right, right. So, whichever way you look at it, it's wrong. Having said that, the midday meal the intention of a midday meal is right because the food used to attract the children, not the padhai. It is the food, the fact that you would get food that attracts the children. Now, what went wrong is the provider, which is always the case, right? I can cite examples where people like Akshapatra do a wonderful service of midday meal. They have mechanized kitchens, they have wonderful delivery van, logistic system is right in place, hygienic meals, timely they provided, and nothing goes wrong. So quality, the right people handling implementation. Why midday meal? Everywhere that is a concern.
We need a regulatory body for all these schemes from the government, so that there should be a regular check that whether the food which has been provided is of a good quality, random check or regular check, so that at least we can have a safer side.
See, the Food and Drug Authority, it's their job to give licenses. Anywhere that food is served, I know that because we have an international school where food is served, and we always ask the person who's outsourced, our canteen provider, whether he has a license. So it's not that we don't have policies. These policies are not implemented and definitely not monitored. So if in the inspection reports this got monitored as to whoever the provider is has a legal rightful license that is valid, much of the problem would be solved. The problem is not whether we need to create more policies and regulations. The problem is how do we monitor and implement them.
And how was your overall experience so far with us?
Very nice, very nice. I was sharing with some of the participants that eINDIA is getting bigger and better. This is huge. This is you're running 3 tracks parallelly, e-governance and health and education.
Some of the key takeaways?
I think that is great in terms of organization. I know that you guys would have put in a lot of effort for months in order to pull this through. I think the quality of the speakers, especially the session that I spoke, I was very happy with the quality of speakers. I got tremendously enriching feedback from the audience. We had almost a 1-hour interaction with the audience. It was very interactive and a very, very concerned audience. So it was not just like a panel speaking. So the session extended because it was going good. We had a 2-hour session. Every speaker made very substantial meaty points, and the audience reacted. So it's about, say, quality is a two-way street. If you deliver well, you will receive well. So our session, I think I'm very, very happy with. And the proof of the pudding is when you eat it, right? And when the participants come and tell you that, we wanted the session to extend. Somebody said that few sessions you want to sit through. This was one of them. I think it was very nice.
Thank you so much, Pram. It's a pleasure having you here. Thanks a lot.